IVM.
Never thought so early. I would have to say that Ranveer Singh was right in the Star Sports ad. This really was Super Sunday. Hafte ke best matches with okay teams. I think that's the only discrepancy there. Hello and welcome. This is episode 4 of season 2 of Shootball. I have what do I have? I have with me two of my dearest friends, Shivram Parmeshwaran and Karthik Iyer. Karthik Iyer is unhappy as always because Fulham have failed to win. And
Shivram failed to get points.
Yeah, I was just trying to be nice. Yeah, failed to get points again. More on that later by the last episode that we do of this season. But Shiva, you have mixed feelings. Arsenal won their match, but you were nice and humble. You allowed Sheffield to score their first goal. How does that make you feel? And also, Gunnerosaurus, is that what his name is?
Gunnerosaurus.
Gunnerosaurus out of contract. Who's the backfill? Ozil, somebody else? What are the plans there?
We're recruiting. We're in the transfer window to see who will wear the suit next. We are zeroing into Scott Parker because he's available. He's free. It's not like he's managing anything. So he might be the number one choice. And from what I hear, he's available for a free. So I think he would be our next best dummy to fill the suit.
That joke was cruel, just like Tottenham against United and West Ham against Leicester. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about the glorious Lewandowski. When we say we, I mean Karthik will speak about Lewandowski.
But about the true Lewandowski, Dominic Calvert-Lewandowski.
Nice. We'll talk about both of them actually. Both of them did really well. But more on that after this break.
How many times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep or lose weight or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Aston Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.
Okay, we'll quickly get into it. We'll talk about the top teams first. Everton. We spoke about the Dominic Calvert-Lewandowski. He can't stop scoring and neither can James Rodriguez. Shiva, you sent that lovely Chori kiya hua message from the best source available, Twitter, which said the last time Liverpool conceded 7 and United conceded 6, Everton went on to win the Premier League trophy. Is that going to happen this year as well?
It is not Chori kiya hua message. It was a screenshot of a tweet. His name was still in it.
Or dusre to, it wasn't United who conceded 7 and Liverpool 6. It was the other way around, Sapre.
That makes a lot of difference.
Because that makes 6 and 7. Fantastic, I think, game for Everton, in spite of losing Richarlison early for an injury. But what happened was that basically made a space up front. James Rodriguez climbed, and usually he's not. And if you listen to, I think, a lot of chatter in FPL Twitter, you'll hear that he gives the assist to the assister. So basically, his second assist usually. But this time, because he ran up the field so much more often, he ended up getting those 2 goals. If you look at those 2 goals, DCL is basically between him and the guy who gave him the assist. So it's cruel for everyone who captained DCL. And it's funny for everyone who didn't have DCL. I'm sure everyone already has DCL. I can see Everton, I said this at the start of the season, and now a lot of people are joining that bandwagon. I would expect them to at least be in the top 6, if not the top 4.
Before I could speak any rubbish, I thought I'll put myself on mute. Not used to talking about Everton so often, right? But we'll speak about Everton's opponents next week. Liverpool. Was that the most surprising results of the 3 worst results of the game week?
I mean, yeah, when we started the weekend, we were thinking when the first match happened, when West Ham thrashed Leicester, the side that beat Manchester City the weekend before, it was like, my God, this is going to be the result of the day. And in 4 hours later, you don't even remember that Leicester ended up losing 3-0 to West Ham United. With, once again, David Moyes, as Sapre says, is working from home better than any one of us are during this lockdown.
It is. But 7 goals conceded by Liverpool. What happened to all? Alexander-Arnold. That man has not done well in any of those 4 games. We'll talk about whether he should or should not be included in your FPL team going forward. But
I mean, he shouldn't, right? Shivram he shouldn't. No, I mean, you're a very quick mover when it comes to transfers and wild cards and free hits and all that. I mean, he just shouldn't. There's no reason to have a 7.5 million defender in your team.
Astute observation from Karthik is always about FPL. I would agree with him. I would recommend moving to Chilwell. I think that form will continue. For the longest time, I mean, Pulisic came off the bench. And now that we're talking about Chelsea, let's just get into it. Pulisic came off the bench. Pulisic might start the next game. Ziyech is still out. But I'm guessing we'll be out for a good 2 weeks now. So he might just be back at the end of this. So there'll be a lot more creativity. And what you'll see Chilwell doing is, increasing that supply. So for the longest time, Chelsea, and I know Timo Werner was my pick at the start of the season, but now he'll come back because you'll suddenly start seeing a lot more supply in the final third for any Chelsea game. And Chilwell would be my pick to, replace Alexander-Arnold. Plus you save another 2 million or 1.9 million, whatever that is. So yeah, get Chilwell and Werner maybe. In 2 weeks' time, we'll find out how this pans out.
If you get Chilwell in your team, you will chill well.
Wow.
Okay. This is why we don't get any brands. This is exactly. They listen till here and then they drop off. Dream 11 का नाश कर दिया. वो IPL sponsor कर रहे हैं.
I mean, I put myself on mute so that you could not hear what I had to really say. You could have done the same. But I have a way around it before Karthik cracks any other of such jokes. We'll move on to a bigger joke, which was United against Tottenham. You know what it reminded me of? Back in 2011, same month of October, United conceded 6 at home against Man City as well. Right? Balotelli scoring and whatever. There were 3 goals that were scored in extra time. But what I want to get at is I want to buy a t-shirt that Balotelli wore. As a Manchester United fan, I want to say, why always me? Right? Why are you're buying these expensive ex-Leicester City defenders? Yeah. I was so happy. I'm disappointed.
Sapre said, and Karthik is my witness, is during the Leicester game, he said Leicester defense is shit. Ex-Leicester defenders are much better. And then we saw Maguire doing his masterclass by not just letting goals in, pulling fellow defenders also down. What is that called if that is not a travesty?
No, I don't think we should look at this game week and come up with any conclusion. But for me, more than Maguire was Luke Shaw, who was horrible. But let's talk more about
it. What not look at the game week? Ranveer Singh ने बोला है Sunday को ही matches होता है. बस.
Correct.
You don't have to watch any other day.
Our date night is getting jammed.
Karthik's on Hindi now. Wow. No, but let's talk about Spurs. They hammered some local team in the Europa League qualifiers with a lot of goals, and they followed it up against a local team from England with a lot of goals. Son and Kane. Kane's coming actually too deep this season to pick up ball, which is allowing Son to score more goals now. FPL tips, Shiva, and your overall assessment of the game, if there is any to be made.
I think yes, there is a lot to be said. Please don't take a United player. All the United players who played ended up with I think 11 or 10 points cumulatively. Oriol Romeu ended up with 14 points, and he plays for Southampton. That was the first goal he has scored in I think a millennium, right? So that is the gulf in class between what happened between United and Spurs. I would recommend sticking with Kane. I made the mistake of jumping off of the Kane bandwagon last week. I still don't have Son. I won't get Son. I think Kane is dropping back, but again, that's also a problem of that defensive midfield formation that Jose Mourinho was playing for the longest time. But now he switched it against United. They had a lot more supply. Haugeberg played so well. I think he was coming in, and then Dembele and Dembele, right? Yeah, Dembele and.
Ndombele.
Sorry, yeah, Ndombele. They were actually.
Dembele plays for United. Will play for United.
Oh yeah, Barca. Accept your money. But basically, the midfield is now looking much better. So Kane, he's used to dropping back, and it's like Sterling playing for City, right? Like even if he plays striker, he tends to drift towards the wings because that is his natural position. So Kane was playing a Rooney from the total 90 era, if you remember. But the assist that he gave, Son, incredible. I mean, it's not just a credit to him, but also a credit to De Gea for, welcoming the ball through his legs.
Yeah, I mean, how often can you blame De Gea in this particular match? 7 times, 6 times, but that's okay. But Karthik, do you now believe that Mourinho's found his team at Spurs? He's got 2 good fullbacks. He's got Bale now. Hopefully he'll come in and add some more vitality to this team. Anything missing? Anything stopping them from finishing, I don't know, in the top 4 maybe?
I don't know about Bale. Yeah, I mean, I know Shivram is pretty kicked that, there's Gareth Bale still to come in this side. But Sapre, you've seen him over the past 2 years in Spain. This is, I don't know if you're going to get the same Bale that we remember from many, many, many years ago now. He hasn't performed for 2 seasons at all. And he's had his chances. It's not like he's been benched for a reason. And that reason is not just injuries. There's a reason why Zidane has not played him. So I'm not sure about Bale, but Tottenham as a side, they're decent. I mean, this was United. It's like, remember 2 weeks ago, I think, on our pod, I think on the opening weekend, when we were praising Arsenal, we said it's just Fulham. I think it's time we started saying it's just United.
Ouch. मैं ऐसा सुन के नहीं लेता था.
मेरे को टेबल दिखता है ना तो
मतलब an 18th place team trash talking a 16th place team. I mean, who do you think?
I know, but times are such that I can't avoid listening to counters.
कहाँ जाओगे? तुम और ओले सेम ही थाली के चट्टे बट्टे हो.
Useless. I just hope that those couple of players who are looking to sign for United, hope the medicals go clear, fax machine किसी का खराब ना हो. All of that happens really well. But we spoke about Liverpool already. Do we want to speak about Man City?
But is there much about Liverpool? But Sapre, I mean, do you feel that this is like a seminal moment in time? Are Liverpool now on a downward curve? It doesn't feel like that way to me at all, despite the scoreline reading 7-2.
Yeah, God knows. I mean, I can understand, let's say, if Liverpool managed to lose a game because they couldn't score but had a lot of chances, but they're just leaking goals, just like the other teams that we just mentioned a while ago. 3 against Leeds in the opener, 7 yesterday. It's the same defense that played the entire season, also the season before last. I think Matip played a lot more than Gomez, but largely it's the same team. So I don't know what's really happening there. They're playing Everton next. So
I'll tell you what's happening. Alisson's gone out. Adrian's taken up the charge again, just like last year. To answer Karthik's question, is there a seminal moment? I think Watford just came early this year. Is all that has happened. I think.
But then when that Watford result happened, Shivram, I'll just put this out there. They had pretty much won the league title. They were ahead by 22 or 25 points at that stage. So I mean, that defeat really, in the grand scheme of things, didn't matter.
So I would absolutely want to agree. I don't like Liverpool very much, and I'm siding with Sapre on that. I think they're okay. This year, they haven't done really well. Even the first game, if you remember, against Leeds, the only reason they got 3 points was because Salah got that penalty from Rodrigo, right? In the 80th minute or something like that. So they were also not doing very well even then. And then they played Arsenal, and Arsenal being Arsenal did what they do best. They did beat them midweek in the Carabao Cup. Our kids beat their kids. But I think with Everton playing Liverpool, I think we'll see immovable meet unstoppable. Because Everton, for whatever it's worth, haven't played a top-tier team yet. And I don't know your definition of a top-tier team, but Tottenham on the first day wasn't a top-tier team, right? And still they won. They just gave them 1 goal, so it was a 1-0 game. So I think Everton are still, haven't been found out for, because they haven't played an incredible team like Liverpool yet. Incredible based on last year. So I think there's still time, and I think that will be a test for both teams. And that will tell you, is Liverpool not good enough at all, or is Everton actually, they have a bid for the title this year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting watch. Is this Super Sunday again? Should we hat tip to Ranveer Singh?
छुट्टी है बीच में 2 दिन की.
Yeah, बीच में. चलो. I hope City bounce back. It's just very disappointing to see. I know there are injury problems and players playing out of position. And we'll touch upon this when we talk about the FPL, where almost every top player or that people had captain blanked out, KDB included. Thankfully, because of no Aguero and no Jesus, the Pep Roulé has come to a stop or a halt. So almost any player to pick up from the City team will end up playing, but they're not getting points, and we are not getting points in FPL, and they are not getting points. Already a draw against Leeds, which everybody guessed they should win. So let's see if they're going to be caught out this next season. This season.
Sapre, if you'll grant me a line on that match though, because I didn't watch it live, but later, Leeds versus Manchester City, that was so. And I know both of you all will agree. That was so old school, under the rain, 1-1 it finished. It was end to end. It was a beautiful game of football. I mean, we didn't really expect what would happen. At that point of time, that would have been the game of the weekend. That was some stunning football that we're used to probably from the mid-2000s. And it brought back a sense of nostalgia or a romanticism about the game that you haven't felt in a long time.
I would agree wholeheartedly. I think he's put it really well. And I don't want to add anything to take away from it. I think that is exactly what happened. Loved the game. Both sides were engaged. Both sides kept going. And my only comment during the game was Leeds can actually take one back if they have the legs. For whatever reason, I thought Leeds won't have the legs. They completely did. They got one back. They had many more chances after that. So I think fantastic game.
Yeah, I don't ever remember really seeing how Marcelo Bielsa really works. We've all heard about his stories from the likes of Pep and Pochettino and a bunch of others. But this is the first time I'm getting to really see, and he is so invested, right there yelling at players, telling them what to do, and playing the way they played against both Liverpool and City, being brave. They're exciting to watch, and not like Norwich last season, who were exciting at the beginning but just screwed up over the season.
I think Leeds come from a lot more pedigree, just as a team, as opposed to Norwich City. So that might be a difference. And this was really funny. I don't know if this was the same game, but I think it was. And
so you're saying Norwich come from Royal Canin? I'll see you.
I'll see you
later.
Yeah, nice, Karthik. For everyone who has a pet out there and the pet is barking or meowing or screeching, you can blame Karthik for that. For everyone who doesn't know pedigree, I'm sure you've seen the Golden Retriever ads. Royal Canin is a competitor brand that Karthik clearly likes. Sorry, I had to explain that. This was during the match, and this came, of course, because there are no spectators other than when United play. What happened was someone, I think, off the sideline I think it was Bielsa or someone, not Bielsa because he can't speak in English, someone from his squad was screaming at a Leeds player saying, "You don't listen, do you?" And that was so loud and it was so clear. The comms actually had to apologize for it, and I think that was really funny, and which I think adds to what Karthik was saying. This felt like one of those old games when there was no delay between your airing and the actual game, so they couldn't beep it out. But yeah, fun game.
Fun game, unpredictable weekend, unpredictable season, unpredictable game weeks in FPL, which is what we're going to move towards.
No,
this is your domain. You are slightly better than Karthik. You got 38 points. Karthik got 37. So
my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that never happened before, did it?
I'll make your day, Karthik. I took a -4.
Oh man, that's good because I had Harry Kane and he's the only one who scored points for me.
Nice. So you do listen to the podcast. Very nice.
So sure, most of the people blanked, right? Jimenez blanked. Mane blank for other.
No, Jimenez is all your fault. You all just thought against one of the best defenses in the league he would score goals, but what happened? He failed. He's a flop.
Wait, but they still won. Are you watching a different game? Because they still won. It's just that he didn't get the goal. Same happened in the Southampton game. I mean, Ings didn't get the goals. Oriol Romeu and Gineppo are getting goals. I mean, when has that ever happened?
I listened to an entire podcast, Shivram, of you trying to pronounce Oriol Romeu. I'm just give me half an hour of that content.
Oriol Romeu. I don't know why my E's are beating the U's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ram in Gujarati's place, so Romeu makes a lot of sense.
Romeu. Yeah, very nice. That is really smart for all our listeners in Gujarat. That is basically no one. Let's quickly move on to FPL. So let's cry. I don't think we have too much to discuss because now there are 2 weeks of nothingness, or as was last weekend, if you looked at my score. Fantastic, I think, display across the league of, our fantasy football league, which you can also join. To join, go to fantasy.premierleague.com, type in H3OMYA, that's H3OMYA, and you can join the league too. Number 1 is Karan Babla, who is Karthik's favorite. His name is Bharatiya Janata Party. He has clarified on Twitter that he is not an Arsenal fan, but he still picked Partey as the name, so he'll give us an explanation of why that actually happened. He's on 285 points, running ahead way in the distance. Number 2 is Suicide Squad. Surprisingly, contrary to the movie, he or she is doing well. Preetha Konar, 73 points this game week, 282, fantastic. Vishwas Athreya, who's an avid listener of the podcast, always tweets to us, replies to us, likes any random tweet I put out. So really sweet of you, Vishwas. 87 points this game week, 282. I mean, you're both tied for number 2. Ankit Kini, I don't know if it's the same Ankit Kini that I know, but if it is you, good job, man. You're number 4. And 5th, and this is a fantastic name. I mean, Sapre will really enjoy it. It's called Pass the Beak.
I love that name.
Yeah, maybe he'll come off a bench more often. Huzefa, who's at 274 points, closes the top 5. Incredible performance. I'm 91 something, so I know how you guys have felt in the recent past. What I do want to put a shout out to is our very own Shlok. Do you guys remember Shlok? I'm pretty sure Shlok still listens to this.
Of course he does, yes.
Yes. For those who don't know, Shlok was our producer for the longest time before he decided to move on to greener pastures. He was actually ahead of me, but now suddenly I can't find him. So suck it, Shlok. You think you could beat me? You can't. Take it. I don't know how to end that mobile diarrhea.
No, but, which is fine. You know what? I was just thinking when you were reading out that list, when we started this podcast, it would probably be exactly a year ago when we were on game week 4 or probably 6 or 7 in the 2019-20 season. Shivram was there in the top 10 and we could base this entire segment around where Shivram is. Currently, none of us three have hold a candle to any of these other players in FPL.
Clearly, that is an achievement.
I found solace in the point that I had green tick next to my name.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say I had Greenwood. Yeah, I mean, where is this?
No, green tick. What terrible game week for me. But I don't speak for everybody else. There are people who got 100 points.
What?
Yeah.
These people are eliminated. We'll take them out of the league. No need. These show-off people, we don't need a league. Under 50 minimum, maximum.
Yeah, there has to be a qualification criteria. Interview set with them.
Abhi, I hope everyone's saving their transfer for the international break. Game nahi hai, lekin injuries to ho sakte hain. So please, I think now is the time to bank that. I know prices will go up, down. You might want to, if you already haven't gotten, I think, James Rodriguez or a Kane, now there's no point. The price rise has already occurred. So might as well just bank it for everyone who has. I mean, good luck, Everton playing Liverpool.
But just on the point of the international, Shivram, it'll be interesting to see because I don't think I'm not sure if James is playing. I don't think the South American teams are playing football as yet internationally between them. So he could be someone who will probably be sitting safe and sound in his hotel room because we've seen with Mane. It's not just injuries currently; it's also the virus that could affect players and take them out of your team at the last minute. So maybe it would make sense during the course of 2 weeks to look at the players who play and to probably also see the players who are just sitting at home for 2 weeks and they may not have, they will probably have practice every day and James may be a good bet if he's not going on international duty with Colombia.
No, that makes absolute sense. Maybe Van de Beek will start. I don't know, Sapre, what do you have to say?
I don't really care about what you guys have to say because I've already changed my team. I've taken a wild card.
What are you saying?
Yes. Fortune favors the brave and you're looking at a person who is absolutely brave.
Sapre, sorry, did you say you've taken the wild card? Can you just check once?
I did. I did this time.
For everyone who doesn't know, by Karthik is delirious.
I was extremely cautious and I used the wild card. And I think I have a decent team for the next game week. And I hope both of you don't jinx any of my players. You or the coronavirus jinx any of my players. If everybody plays, I'm sure I'm going to get some 3,000 points in the next game week. What a solid team I have.
Yeah, see, Sapre, all the best with that team. I'm glad that you actually hit the wildcard button this time. For everyone who doesn't know, Sapre made 8 changes or 6 changes or 7 changes. I don't know, minus 24. He ended up not hitting the wildcard button, but he's still doing well. So props to him. And all the best for your team, man. Don't tell us who these are. We might jinx them and you never know, the government of India, we might just blame Afterpod as well.
I just went back and saw my team and one of them is already injured. So,
okay.
It's going to be fun.
And so it begins. This is like the red wedding, slowly and steadily.
No, so enough of FPL. Guys, join the league. We have somewhat 250 people now. So that's just fantastic. We're really grateful. We never really thought in a season, a couple of seasons. We're not even midway the second season. We'll have 250 people part of the league. Those people didn't even turn out to my wedding. So this is just overwhelming.
And always remember, the last time the person who won the league got a jersey of his choice. So I think that fact should never be forgotten. And the price could be the same. The price could be better. It could be worse. It depends on whether we like you and your team name or not. But yeah, there are prizes at stake for participating in the Shootball FPL League. The code is Shivram Go.
H3OMY. That's H3OMY. Just to let you know, the last guy who won, Anurag Mandle, he picked the Chelsea jersey. I'm sure you guys can do better. So this is your time to sign up, sign in and compete.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we are going to talk about a fantastic match that happened between Juventus and Napoli.
Exhilarating action.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Intel. So Justine Royal came on Storytellers and Storytellers this week with Vineet. It was a really interesting conversation. Do definitely check that out. Hamsini Hariharan is back on the Pragati podcast after an extended absence. Hamsini was one of the original hosts along with Pravan, but she was unable to continue. But we're glad to have her back. She's talking about her experiences since she left. She's been studying in China. Definitely check that out. You'll enjoy that. On Pulya Bazi, they discussed the revolution of 1857 as seen from contemporary eyes. Definitely give that a shout. I think you'll love that as well. Abhijit Ganguly was on Cyrus Says a couple of weeks ago, and he had such a great time, and we were so happy to have him on that we asked him to join us for Cock and Bull, and he was on this week. Do check that out. And lastly, I'd like to mention our Tamil show. We've been doing a show called Kadai Podcast Ponniyin Selvan, hosted by Kavita Jiva. She has been phenomenal. She's rewritten the stories in a way which really, they speak to a modern audience. But Ponniyin Selvan is over, and she started a new story, though. The new story that she started is Sivakamiyan Sabatham. I'm sure I mangled that pronunciation, and I'm sure you'll love it if you're a Tamil speaker. Do definitely check it out. And with that, let's get you onto your show.
Okay, guys, we can't not talk about that game, right? Juventus versus Napoli. Fantastic performance from Ronaldo.
He scored 8 goals.
8 goals he scored in that match. Solo, he assisted himself. All assists to Ronaldo.
Captain himself in the captain team.
Lovely. I mean, what are they? Are they jackasses or are they just... No, these are the rules. You're playing by the rules. You have 13 players. Napoli as a club, with one goalkeeper, you can come and play. You decided not to. They are talking about some lockdown. Police ka nakabandi hai, we can't come and all of that. But Juventus could have just stayed at home, right?
No, so I'm going to actually take Juventus' side on this one because Napoli have 2 players who have tested positive. They have a squad of 25 players plus their reserve team as well. The thing about Napoli is they claim, again, the information out there is all over the place. They claim that the local authorities have said that they couldn't travel to Turin to play their match against Juventus. But there are other sources that tell us that no, they were allowed to travel and they just didn't want to as a squad. If they didn't want to as a squad, that's not within the guidelines of A, the local authorities, B, the football authorities, and C, any rules that are governed a football game around. Because they say that if you have a squad of 13, like you mentioned, Sapre, you must be playing a game. So I think Juventus were within their rights to say that, okay, if you're not playing the game, we will claim a 3-0 victory. I just want to put this out there that the victory has not yet been awarded to Juventus. It's still under deliberation by the Serie A, whether they're going to give them a 3-0 victory and give Ronaldo his 3 goals and his 3 assists or not.
No problem. I think he's saying I hat-trick mara, mere ko chahiye.
So that's still not out there. It's still to be deliberated. But I love the fact that Juventus pretended like this was an actual game. They made their graphic designer work on an off day for the players. Yeah, they put out a full team sheet.
They did, didn't they? Wow.
What did Napoli do? Did they reply to the tweet saying, "Nahi yaar, kya kar raha hai, pagal hai kya?"
I don't know the inner workings. I'll have to call Fabrizio Romano. If he's not occupied with transfer news, we can check with him. What else? Nothing else really happened in Serie A.
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick brief roundup of all the leagues, and I want to ask Al something before we end as well. So what happened again? We mentioned at the start of the show, Lewandowski scored 4 goals in a thrilling victory for Bayern Munich 4-3 over Hertha Berlin, which was overshadowed by, of course, the 6-1 and the 7-2 defeats for Manchester United and Liverpool. So that's what happened in the Bundesliga. Dortmund got back on track as well. But we are currently recording Sapre on transfer window deadline day. Now, when this podcast is out, we don't know who's joined United. Cavani would have probably joined. I'm looking at the news right now. He hasn't. I want you to rate how United's window have gone and where you see yourself heading during this entire season, because clearly the main targets have not been achieved.
Why are you so obvious in telling me that you don't like me? By putting me under the spotlight and asking me those questions. There are other ways to display that.
Okay, so I'll actually give you another way to display that. Why I'm so pumped up is that the only stat I know about Fulham is that they have conceded the same goals as United and Liverpool in this season so far. Boom.
That's insane. Karthik, when are Fulham getting their first point?
I will guarantee you, Shivram, and this is the first time I'm going to say it, against Sheffield United after the international break, Fulham get 3 points on the board. Guarantee. My guarantee you have. Yes.
What if it doesn't happen? You give both of us a jersey of our choice.
My God, that's a little tough, yeah. Oh, no, everyone.
From guarantee to paisa nahi hai.
But just ensure that they concede some 3 goals and United don't concede more than 2 goals. That goal difference is it's quite shocking, But yeah, United's transfer window has been non-existent. They got Donny van de Beek. Nobody had a clue they're getting Donny van de Beek. So Sancho is definitely not coming. Dembele doesn't give a shit. Dyer does. But Cavani, I'm really excited about Cavani. I hope he comes in. He does well. I don't think age is a factor. Ibra came to United. He had a fantastic season under Mourinho.
Okay, fine. I'm going to stop you there. Age is not a factor, but this guy hasn't played since March. It's October now. He hasn't played since March.
Yeah, but the United players on the pitch were playing for the entire last season. I don't think it's a point that you want to concede.
I agree with Sapre. I think Cavani will have that Zlatan effect. I would say, because Cavani is joining at this point in time after 3 games and he has 35 games left, I would say he will score at least 15 goals in the next 30 games.
Yeah, and also Champions League, right? At least the group stages if United...
you'll get out early now, so then you'll have more time to focus on the Premier League. Europa League se bhi tum bahar nikal jaoge. The other thing, which was also, I think I heard it in the comms only during the game, is that apparently your latest signing, Van de Beek, is not getting enough time. And वो FIFA में जाके वो एक email आता है ना player का, I'm not getting enough time. This is not as per our contract. Apparently, his agent has made the same noise to Ole.
Yeah, so this is exactly what parents do when they send their kids to IB schools, and then they say, "Hey, you're not paying attention to my child. I paid so much fees. You said 10 kids every batch, and look what's happening. These guys on the bench." But I mean, he'll start, I'm sure, looking at the last result, he will definitely start the next match. But United are just being just conjuice. I think Alex Telles they were asking for Otto, right? What was for 19 million, and United said, no, we'll not pay you a penny more than 17. And then with Sancho, of course, they were unwilling to pay the difference of 20 million.
There is a phrase for this. It's called penny wise, pound foolish.
Yeah, they're not even penny wise. That's the thing. You can't even apply the phrase there.
Fair enough. Okay. Terrible. So self-critical. अभी मैं तुम्हारी बेहती गंगा में क्या हाथ दूँ? ठीक है, तुम ही बोलो फिर.
Terrible transfer window. But I was telling Siva right before the call, Deulofeu is moving to Udinese. I really like the player in the Premier League.
That's probably a transfer, Sapre. That's a transfer happening right there. You're getting a call. Who do you manage, Sapre? Which player? Who's this? Is it Sancho? Is it Dembele? Is that Cavani's contract that is being signed? Or is it Alex Telles? Sapre, come on, you got to tell us. You got to tell us right now. Sapre is on mute.
Alex Telles.
Alex Telles.
Okay, this is breaking news. Ed Woodward has been given a 3-year contract.
Woodward has a nice phone. I saw he has the latest iPhone. He was texting you only, during the game.
He was. But terrible. Deulofeu is moved to Udinese. Udinese and Watford have the same owners. So, matlab, ghar ka hi aadmi hai. So there's no
I just want to get in there and have one more say on this. You all spoke about penny wise. I think the entire phrase penny wise is oxymoronic, because if you all have seen Big Bang Theory, penny is not wise. Boom. Yeah? No? Have you all left the call?
Internet stuck, or is he like this?
I mean, I can counter you in both ways, like in a logical manner with the way the show progresses, or just by calling you, I don't know, is that sexist? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
No,
she's sexist.
Yes,
No, but it isn't, right? I mean, compared to the 4 guys there, I mean,
Yeah, the difference between being intelligent and wise, Karthik.
Yeah, so I'm counting wise as book wise. Chalo, we'll
Good joke, very good joke, very deep.
leave it at
You
that.
can be the vice captain of this team.
Weren't you talking about? What? No, I'm sorry. Let's move on, guys. Weren't you talking about how Coutinho saved Barcelona again?
किसी ने नहीं देखा.
I mean, again, the thing is that match, the 1-1 with Sevilla. Sevilla played better than Barcelona did. But then again, we'll talk about Barcelona as the season progresses, because Sapre, but there's one thing I want to say to you, and I've tried to support Griezmann over the past year or so, while you have really not seen where he fits into the side, and I'm kind of now coming on to your side, because this was another match, Sapre, where he looked a bit lost.
Yeah, one more. Add one more to his Arsenal. He should move to PSG. I think that's a better league for him. It's a good team. He will perform really well. Mbappe is anyways going to come to Real Madrid next summer. Madrid haven't signed anybody this season, and they've also sold and moved on a few players. I'm sure the pandemic hit them financially. Zidane has come out and said the team is stable. He doesn't want to change the team. He'll try and do the best. So I'm guessing he's trying to save money to get Mbappe next season. So Griezmann should be moved out. Better for everybody.
Do you think they can exchange Hazard for Mbappe? Will anyone take Hazard?
Well, Inter took Sanchez, so you should ask Inter.
That is true.
That's probably not the worst thing, especially if Hazard's this current season goes like his last, which it seems like it has started off in the same way. So that's a pretty good idea. Basically, what we're saying is this transfer deadline day sucks, and the next one is going to be really cool. So join us 1 year later for season 3 of Football Shootball. Now, I think we're nearing the end. But I have one more question, and I'm sorry, Sapre, but this is to Shivram, because we already spoke about United, and this is an Arsenal United / Fulham podcast. So Shivram, probably the last question is for you. Now, Arsenal have started the season well, yeah. There is a certain sense of positivity surrounding the club. They've got in a few players. Gabriel looks like a decent defender. But here's the deal. Arsenal are linked with Houssem Aouar and Thomas Partey, and neither of them, the deal looks like it's happening, despite the fact that Lyon have got a replacement for Aouar in Lucas Paqueta. But is this still a good window for Arsenal, or do you see the same thing happening where the wheels fall off midway through the season?
Okay, that's a loaded question. So first things first on the transfers, I think they at least strengthen the defense, and they reloaned Ceballos. I think we'll continue to loan him for the rest of his life. We won't eventually, we'll never buy him. Basically, रेंटो बोझो से मंगाया उसको, हर साल वापस आ जाता है. So Arsenal have not done badly. I think retaining most of the squad is good, and I think I didn't see this at all. Karthik was really shrewd when he called this out. Maitland-Niles started the first 2-3 games just before the transfer window to make him feel like, he's in the priority list. Abhi, we are right next to the transfer window. Saka has scored the first goal against Sheffield. So there is, Saka will start more often. But we have done I say we, but
on that, but sorry, Shivram, to interrupt you, but you'll appreciate it. That header, it looked simple, but it was outstanding. He found the only spot in the goal that was free.
That is insane.
Like, it was slightly looping it. Yeah, it was an outstanding header.
That timed header, and I think credit to Bellerin for that ball as well, to find him so far away. But that header is a striker's header. I think only Shuru could have done it any better, but he would have been closer to the ball anyway off the ground. But Arsenal overall, I think good place right now. Even if they don't end up getting a Partey or I think they'll end up top 6 at best. They might end up, competing for the Europa, but that's okay. Gunnersaurus ko to nikal diya, kahin to abhi high lagegi na.
High lagegi. Anything? I think we're done for this episode. There's too much. I was fried over the weekend. I'm just glad Mumbai Indians won again.
Thank you guys. This was great, guys.
No. I want to talk about Mumbai Indians for a while. Karthik and I will speak about IPL. Karthik, you're following IPL much closer than I am. Delhi Capitals, I don't know why are they performing so well, man.
Because they're my side, boy. My sides always perform well. Delhi Capitals are the best side in the IPL, the best franchise. They are the youngest players. They are the Punts, they are the Ayers, and they are the Shaws. They are going to win IPL 2020.
Thank you. I just wanted to end the podcast on a high and with a lot more energy. I don't have any. I'm drained out of it.
But to get a high, Sapre, you don't have to go to Delhi. Apparently, it all happens in Mumbai anyway.
Oh my God. Hi, Navika. I know you're listening to this podcast. You can follow me on Fickleberry Hunt.
Before our WhatsApp chats get snooped into and out in public, I'm not worried about the chat. I'm just worried about the bad jokes and puns that we make on groups. But thank you all for listening. I hope you have been safe, been healthy. The pandemic is not going anywhere. Please continue to stay at home, follow social distance, wear a mask, and please start watching Big Boss. It's back, guys.
So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and G Sapre on Instagram.
You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is Football Shootball. Recognize.
Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Don Bradman, and now Cyrus Brocha. Okay, probably not in the right company. I mean, Don Bradman is Australian. But it's called Cyrus Says, a wonderful show about everything. Find the show on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Are you looking for India's most awesome cricket podcast? Are you now tired of listening to the same old guys drone on about cricket everywhere? Edges and Sledges is a weekly cricket podcast hosted by three fans of the game, Varun, DJ, and myself, Ashwin. It was established in early 2018, has over 60 episodes now, and is of course now proud to be on the IVM Podcast Network. Each week, we get together from 3 different time zones, the USA, the UK, and Singapore, and we talk about things from the world of cricket, with a focus on Indian cricket. We often interview special guests from all around the world, including former cricketers and cricket media personalities. So check out Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast, now on the IVM Network.